Good day, and thank you for watching. If you are involved in a trust dispute in California, there is one issue that causes family conflict to explode faster than almost anything else: missing assets. Because once beneficiaries begin believing money, property, or valuables have disappeared, trust administration can quickly turn into full scale litigation. And in many cases, the emotional damage to the family becomes just as serious as the financial dispute itself. Let's start with the basics. When a trust creator passes away, beneficiaries often expect the trustee to identify, manage, and eventually distribute trust assets according to the trust terms. That process may involve bank accounts, real estate, investments, business interests, vehicles, personal property, and other financial assets. Now, here's the key: trust administration depends heavily on accurate information and proper record keeping. And when records are incomplete or communication breaks down, people begin asking questions very quickly. Now, here's where many trustees make a mistake. They underestimate how important transparency really is. They delay providing information. They avoid difficult conversations, or they assume beneficiaries should simply trust them. But silence often creates suspicion, and suspicion creates conflict. Now, let's talk about what beneficiaries often notice first: missing bank accounts, unexpected withdrawals, transferred property, changed beneficiaries, missing jewelry, cash withdrawals before death, or property that family members believed existed but suddenly cannot be located. These issues often become the starting point for litigation. Now, let's discuss another important issue: timing. The timing of financial transactions often becomes extremely important in trust disputes, especially transactions occurring shortly before death or incapacity. Large transfers, new signatures, changed ownership records. All of these details may raise questions. Now, let's talk about caregiving relationships. Many trust disputes involve family members or caregivers who had close access to the trust creator before death, and beneficiaries sometimes suspect those individuals exercised undue influence or improperly gained access to assets. Now, here's another common mistake. Some trustees treat informal family arrangements casually: no receipts, no records, cash transactions, shared accounts. But informal handling of money can create major problems later when questions arise. Now, let's discuss another issue: joint accounts. People are often surprised to learn that not all assets automatically pass through a trust. Joint tenancy accounts, payable on death accounts, and beneficiary designations may transfer outside the trust structure entirely, and misunderstandings about ownership often create conflict. Now, let's talk about real estate. Family homes frequently become central issues in missing asset disputes. Questions arise regarding title transfers, refinancing, quitclaim deeds, or promises allegedly made before death. And because homes carry emotional meaning, these disputes become deeply personal. Now let's discuss another important point: capacity. Some trust litigation cases involve claims that the trust creator lacked mental capacity during financial changes. Medical records, witnesses, medication history, and timelines may all become important evidence. Now let's talk about accountings. Formal accountings help track money coming into and leaving trust administration. And when trustees fail to maintain organized financial records, beneficiaries often become more suspicious. Now, here's where many families make another mistake: they stop communicating and immediately assume criminal intent. But sometimes missing asset disputes arise from confusion, poor organization, or misunderstanding rather than intentional theft. Still, lack of clarity creates enormous tension. Now let's discuss another issue: personal property. Not every dispute involves large bank accounts. Family heirlooms, jewelry, collectibles, artwork, and sentimental items often become major sources of conflict because emotional value may exceed financial value. Now, let's talk about digital assets. Modern trust disputes increasingly involve online accounts, cryptocurrency, digital records, and electronic financial transfers. And locating digital assets can become complicated if access information is missing. Now, let's discuss another misconception. Some people believe trustees have unlimited discretion over trust property, but trustees generally owe fiduciary duties involving loyalty, prudence, and proper administration. And those duties may require careful documentation and accountability. Now, let's talk about subpoenas and records. In trust litigation, financial institutions, title companies, accountants, and medical providers may become sources of important evidence regarding transactions and decision making. Now, let's discuss emotional realities. Inheritance disputes often reopen decades of unresolved family tension, sibling resentment, perceived favoritism, caretaking disagreements, old emotional wounds. And once money becomes involved, those tensions often intensify dramatically. Now let's talk about delays again. Unexplained delays in distributions or missing information frequently increase beneficiary suspicion. Even when delays may have legitimate administrative explanations, communication matters enormously during trust administration. Now, let's discuss another issue: informal promises. Many beneficiaries claim the deceased verbally promised them certain assets that are not reflected in the actual documents, and conflicts often arise between legal paperwork and family expectations. Now, let's talk about court involvement. Trust litigation courts may review trustee conduct, compel accountings, examine financial transactions, interpret trust documents, and evaluate allegations involving undue influence or fiduciary breach. Now let's discuss another important point: neutral administration. Trustees who appear secretive, defensive, or emotionally reactive often increase the likelihood of litigation. Professionalism and organization matter significantly. Now let's talk about prevention. Many trust disputes could be reduced through better estate planning, organized financial records, clear communication, and careful trust administration. But once suspicion takes hold, rebuilding trust becomes extremely difficult. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Missing asset disputes are rarely just about money. They are about grief, trust, family relationships, fairness, and fear. And those emotional pressures often drive litigation as much as the financial issues themselves. Finally, let's talk about expectations. Not every missing asset claim involves wrongdoing, but poor records, lack of communication, unexplained transfers, and family tension dramatically increase the risk of trust litigation. Understanding the legal process and fiduciary responsibilities early can help families navigate these disputes more effectively. In conclusion, missing asset disputes in California trust litigation often arise when beneficiaries believe property, money, or valuables have disappeared or been improperly transferred. These conflicts frequently involve questions about fiduciary duty, financial records, capacity, and family dynamics. And understanding how trust administration works is critical in evaluating these situations properly. If you are dealing with trustee disputes, missing asset concerns, inheritance conflicts, or trust litigation issues, understanding your rights and responsibilities is extremely important. Call us at 888-888-6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.